What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is October 5th of 2017. Well, folks, as you all know, if you keep up with the headlines in cryptocurrency, there's one topic that is swamping the headlines, and it is no other than the Bitcoin hard fork, otherwise known as SegWit2x, and the introduction of Bitcoin Gold. So, a lot of you have been asking about this, really curious about the topic, and you're looking for some kind of relief, some explanation as to what's going on in this topic, and then also maybe my personal take. That being realized, as much as I've done my research on this, as much as I want to talk about it, and as much as I think I can give a lot of valuable information to you all, I want you to keep in mind, and I want to be fair in saying that I'm not an expert in the mining space. This is probably one of the few areas that I lack in as one of the larger YouTubers in the space. And it's why you should, listen to other YouTubers. Maybe go out and do some of your own research and learn about all this, especially if you have some, you have some interest in the mining space. I think it's very much an interesting topic. I'm still just learning in this space, but I do know a decent amount to where I can talk about it. So, that being said, just wanted to say that right off the bat, but let's go ahead and dive into this, folks. On the topic of Bitcoin, it's always good, I think, to look at the current price action of Bitcoin. And to say that Bitcoin is, showing signs of weakness right now would be false. Bitcoin has been holding very strong. After our drop from 5,000 to 3,000, Bitcoin is now holding at 4,100, almost sitting around 4,200. And it's regained a lot of the losses that it held. Actually, the mass majority of those losses from 5,000. So now it looks like we're going back up, and we really could see Bitcoin continue back upwards to new highs. The question is, though, is with, the Bitcoin hard fork coming later this month in October, relatively soon, only a few weeks, is this going to set back Bitcoin? Okay, is this going to be an absolute setback for Bitcoin? Is this going to tear down the price back down to 3,000 or something? Or is this going to, be a catalyst for Bitcoin to rally past 5,000? I would say that it's the latter of the two. As much as we were expecting with Bitcoin Cash to have that catalyst, for example, if we go back to kind of mid-July when the fear was setting in, the price was starting to sell off, and we were saying that the introduction of Bitcoin Cash was going to cause, in the sense when the hard fork launched, it was going to be a negative catalyst for price action to go down. Well, we did get the fear coming into the market, but when it launched, everything ran smoothly. So again, I understand there's a lot of fear that can come in from this whole concept of, forking or having a major update, which is really what forking means. I want to keep in mind, I think a lot of people think forking means like splitting a new currency. Yes, that can be a part of it, but forking at its core is just simply a mass update that comes to, in this case, the Bitcoin network, much like the Ethereum network with Metropolis. So again, we've got to see, if people are really going to be fearful of it, because quite frankly, as much as we were fearful back here, everything went fine. And before August 1st, everything corrected, and then there we go, we rallied back. So again, it's really the market's perspective. And quite frankly, the reason why I don't think we'll be able to use it as like a catalyst to have the market move back as much as I would like that so I could buy cheap cryptocurrency, I'm going to be fair in saying I don't think it's going to happen. You already had the big pullback here, the big kahuna, for about a few weeks or so. And we went from 5,000 to 3,000, and institutional buyers poured in. And I don't think we're really going to get down to those lows, or at least as easy as we did back there. I think we've solidified a lot of the support here at 3,000, and I think we're ready to move up to new highs. How high are we going to go? I don't know. But, if it's like the past bull run, we would move somewhere well above maybe 6,000 to 7,000 and find support at 5,000. Now, I don't know how fast that's going to happen, and I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon. We're going to have to take a few weeks to get there. But if SegWit, as much as it might seem like a fudding case where this is going to cause fear in markets, whether it does short term, I really don't think this is an opportunity for you to sell all your Bitcoin, oh my God, get out of the market. I really think that this is just simply an opportunity to wait. And when Bitcoin Gold launches, when the fork is implemented, this is going to be a catalyst to push Bitcoin up, okay, once it launches successfully. Now, it's important to understand what the objective of this fork is, of what SegWit2x is, and what Bitcoin Gold is being introduced for. It all has to do with the mining scene, okay? So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look to understand this and really what the objective is. So on October 25th, as of now, it might be pushed back, but it seems like they're set on October 25th. On October 25th, there is going to be a hard fork on the Bitcoin network, and it is going to create a new cryptocurrency called Bitcoin Gold, or BTG. All right, so any existing owner of Bitcoin, okay, so if you're holding your Bitcoin on a wallet, if you have Bitcoin, and this is also the case for some exchanges as well, it should be any kind of wallet, but sometimes exchanges are weird about it. Any owner of Bitcoin will receive Bitcoin Gold. Now that depends, how fast the wallet comes out to where you can claim that, but at the same time, your Bitcoin Gold will be yours so long as you have your Bitcoin in a wallet, and it's there, it's tangible. There's proof that a wallet is holding Bitcoin. So a lot of people are like asking me, Nick, how can I guarantee I can get my Bitcoin Gold as a Bitcoin holder? I will do a video on that later on as I can, kind of confirm it. I really want to make sure to do a full explainer video. However, for now, it's pretty much so long as you have it in your wallet, especially like a computer wallet, like a wallet on your computer, like a Ledger Nano, something like that, something that's a hardware wallet. So long as you have it somewhere stored on the, the blockchain, obviously you do, then you should be fine. Okay, so there's no worry about it. But again, I will do a video, telling you the best ways to guarantee it and this and that. So again, to go back more to the normal topic, a lot of people are wondering, what is this hard fork all about? Why are we introducing yet another cryptocurrency? Isn't Bitcoin Cash enough? Not exactly, in the sense of the long-term objective. SegWit was never intended to just simply be the first implementation. Okay, as you can see here, they're expecting to do multiple SegWits. And what this is aiming to do is decentralize the mining scene. Okay, so right now, ASIC miners are mining Bitcoin. And it's a very, very niche group of people. There's large vested interest in the mining space over in China. There's large vested mining spaces over here in the United States. John McAfee being one of them. And there's a lot of people who want to get into the mining scene, but they cannot go out and really buy scalable amounts of ASIC miners. They're quite expensive. And a lot of people are, thinking like, man, why can't I get into the mining scene? Why can't I be a part of it? And this is where Bitcoin Gold is going to come in. It is going to be a domain for GPU miners to get into the space. Now, GPUs are just simply the graphics cards that you have in your computer. So NVIDIA graphics cards, where you can go out and, there's of course different types, but most people have NVIDIA. And you'll be able to go out and mine Bitcoin Gold. So for the first time, you'll actually be able to start making some money again with your GPU in the sense of mining Bitcoin. So it's an interesting concept. I think that it's decently a good step, because I think that in the sense of the mining space, GPUs need to have a part of the game. ASIC miners have kind of stolen it, and it's become very centralized. However, it is worrying to me to see that we're going to be splitting the Bitcoin brand into all these different little fractions. Now, there's supposedly some benefit that is going to come with Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold, as stated by the lead developer behind the project, he stated that Bitcoin Gold itself is going to be the pilot for Bitcoin upgrades. So kind of like how Litecoin was during implementing SegWit at its original stage. They used it as almost like kind of like a test net on the sense of Litecoin before they used it for something like Bitcoin. And so in that case, I think that's good. I think that we need to have one branch off where it's based off the Bitcoin network, but at the same time we can run tests, we can run implementations and upgrades, and we can make sure we do that before we do it over to the Bitcoin network, where things could go wrong, and then a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency loses a ton of its value. So again, this is a really interesting kind of topic to dive into, and there's a big debate going, as to everything related to the topic. I think real quick before I go back up, there's a little bit of information I wanted to talk about on this article, talking about the Bitcoin fork. This is a good stats chart talking about all the major factors of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, and B2X, which is later in the future. In this case, they all share 21 million Bitcoin as the max supply that will never change. So a lot of people are saying like, we're not creating things in a thin air. It's still a limited supply. In a sense, though, we are creating a new currency. People can't deny that. We are forking the currency and creating this new one. Now, some people would say that that's a divvied value, like so we're breaking off a fraction of the value of that original Bitcoin. It depends as to whether or not people adopt it equally. And you're never going to get that equal sense of adoption. So in a sense, yes, we are creating new currency. But this might be for the greater good of Bitcoin as a whole. Again, so you gotta understand there's going to be tons of opinions and debates on the topic. There's no perfect answer. But the major thing that this is bringing, as you can see from Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin originally, comparative to Bitcoin Gold, is that this is going to be a proof of work type based off GPUs, not ASIC miners. So this is going to allow a lot of decentralization in the mining space. Gotta say this one interests me a little bit more than Bitcoin Cash. And not in a negative sense, in a positive sense. Again, I don't like forking the currency like crazy. I just got to tell you right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of it. But again, that's pretty nice. Finally, to have the GPUs have a chance to step into the Bitcoin game and really be a part of it. Not having to get ASIC miners, which are ridiculously expensive and a big investment. So again, kind of bringing back the decentralization aspect to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a whole. What I do like it as well is this seems much more like a fair currency. The difficulty adjustment adjusts each block. Not every 2 weeks. Every block. That's, in my opinion, one of the best factors about it. The fact that it's using GPUs, that it adjusts the block difficulty each block. That is just, it's a good step, I think. I don't get why that hasn't been the way it is. I don't know, but I guess some people have different opinions on that. The next thing I want to talk about is replay protection. This is good. Any kind of forked version of Bitcoin needs replay protection, and this is making sure that you cannot lose your Bitcoin Gold with, in the sense of other networks connected to the Bitcoin core. So, this is good to have replay protection and make sure that your currency is safe. And also, they're going to have unique address formats. So, again, another positive comparative to Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and B2X. So, again, this is really kind of a war against the centralization of ASIC miners. And this is really the issue at hand, is whether or not we want to keep Bitcoin at its core untouched and let it just, do its thing, or simply going out of our way to decentralize the industry and bring GPUs into the modern age and allowing them to be a part of the Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin network itself, but Bitcoin Gold, which is going to be a part of Bitcoin. So again, there's a lot of debates going on with this. And folks, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Whether it is really good or bad for Bitcoin long term, I think we've seen history repeat itself. It's going to do just fine. If you're a long-term investor, this isn't really something to worry about, in my opinion. And realizing that as well, I think that as much as I would love another reason for Bitcoin to go to 3,000 so I could buy more of it, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. We had our catalyst here, folks. I just don't see it happening. Now, it might. And if it does, if I start to see that fear come in the market, just in case if we do, we should have a strategy in place. I think if we break below 4,000, that might be a sign that we're going to 3,000. That the catalyst is setting in, that the fear is setting in. For now, though, I have no reason to really be fearful of the market. Bitcoin's doing fine. Hasn't, blasted past all-time highs. We still got a ways to go. But if we see resistance here, much like we saw over here, this is the only kind of price level I could see as resistance, or if we break 4,000 over here, those will be the catalysts as to whether or not we're going to new highs or we're going down. So if we can't get past this level here at 4,400, that would be kind of worrying. So keep an eye on that. And as well as that, keep an eye on 4,000. Bitcoin's going to kind of probably shake through this area for a little while, or we're going to start breaking out and really going towards 5,000 towards October the 25th. I hope that's the right date, October 25th. And as we move towards, SegWit 2x, if it goes through, everything works promptly, we're going to break to new highs through 5,000, in my opinion. But only time will tell, folks. We'll have to see. This is an interesting time for Bitcoin. We really still are in the early stages of cryptocurrency as a whole. And events like this really can make or break markets. They've got to go smoothly, they've got to go right, and they have to make sure that they're not going to fundamentally change what makes cryptocurrency. So there's a big debate going on here as to whether or not this fork is good or bad. I'd love to hear down in the comments down below what you all think about it, though. This is a big topic, and there are a lot of opinions on it, and a lot of information that I probably didn't get to cover in the video. But this is a nice, brief summary on the topic, and I hope I've been able to help give you a little bit of education on it. So again, I always recommend you do a little extra research, watch some other YouTubers, go out there, read about the mining scene, learn about it, and if you're a part of it, share your opinion down below. What do you think about this? You know, again, those opinions are very valid and important to understand in discussing this topic. So again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. But until then, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.